Hello. Greetings, Jiu-Jitsu nerds. Can you hear me now? We are a one-woman show. Me as a producer, me as the host. So hopefully we'll have some grace making sure all the technicalities are all right. I'm pretty sure Kit Dale and Tristan Sainz have the link to join this live chat. And I know Josiah, #1 fan out here, has been ready to go. Let me know if you guys can hear me or if there's ever any audio issues, because again, I am producing the show myself. So sometimes it's hard for me to make sure that everything is going right. Will we get a producer on here at some point? Eventually, if it's in the budget. What's up, Josiah? I know your boy Gianni competed this weekend. I know you're a big fan of him. So we'll line up what exactly is going on in this live chat. Obviously, I did make my WNO debut. Thank you guys so much if you supported some of the content that was seen on the show. I think in about 2 minutes, we're going to have Tristan Sainz join. He is the young star for that Miami squad with a bunch of brothers that are also making their name. But on this episode, we are going to be talking about the ADCC announcement and why this new chapter of Flo Grappling is something that not only athletes, but fans should also be paying attention to. That segues me to one of the pieces that I had with Ben Kovacs that we wanted to play really quickly, just to highlight some of the things that we've been talking about. And I do see Tristan in the building, so we're going to get him on in just a second.
Like the narrative between ADCC versus CJI and then CJI now versus UFC. Do you think that narrative is legitimate? Like, do you think it is a winner take all type of market?
No, I mean, well, first of all, I don't think the narrative is CJI versus UFC. I think it's CJI, ADCC, IBJJF, Flo Grappling, UFC. I think many others, right? BJJ Stars. There's all these great promotions around the world that are running, and a lot of them are doing well, and they're bringing a lot of value to the sport, and they've helped build the sport. And so I think the narrative is more like, hey, wait a second, you can't just come in as sort of this isolated on an island sort of platform and say, we're not going to work with other people. We're not even going to really talk to a lot of these other people. And we're just going to come in and own the sport, right? And I think that's what people are now seeing. That's what people like Craig are trying to push. He's not saying it's CJI versus UFC. He's saying it's all of us. It's all the athletes. It's all the promotions. And so I think Flo is just one part of that, a big part of it. But, you know, we want to be kind of part of the team to say, let's let the best fighters fight the other best fighters. Like, it's a shame that, you know, you've got Mika and Flo, and you've got, you know, the Rotolos in one, and you've got Tackett in the UFC, and they're not fighting each other, right? Because of things like that. And, you know, just to be clear, the way that the Flo contracts work, with maybe the exception of Mika being the only one, is that there's no athletes that are exclusive to Flo Grappling. So Flo Grappling allows you, if you sign with Flo Grappling, to compete on any other promotion, whether it's ONE or UFC or CJI or ADCC, as long as you come back to Flo for your next fight. That's typically how it works, right? So like, Flo is like the most of everyone who's saying, hey, we're open, we let our fighters fight. Flo is kind of like the most athlete friendly and not blocking the best fights that could happen in the world, right? There's obviously got to be some sort of contractual relationship. If you're giving someone a 5-fight deal, they can't just come back 20 years later. But I think it's very fair to say, hey, fight on Flo and then go fight somewhere else, then come back to Flo and then go fight somewhere else. So that's really what we're doing. And if, you know, obviously the UFC is taking the opposite approach, other people are sort of in the middle, giving special permission to do certain fights. But we just think that the way we do it kind of makes the most sense.
So I love what Flo Grappling is doing. I didn't know the details of a Flo Grappling contract, but basically you get the opportunity to compete wherever you want as long as your next match is with Flo. So I think that's awesome. And now I have 2 people waiting in the waiting room here. It's Insane's in the membranes. What's up, y'all?
Hi. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you? Do you think you can make your camera flip this way?
Oh, this way. Oh.
I think it just has to be unlocked.
Yeah.
These are the Sainz brothers, and they're coming off of some big wins.
There we go. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go.
All right, Tristan, I liked your post-match interview. You said something along the lines of, my dad says not to call people out because God will put people in your place in your time. So I hope your dad doesn't yell at me when I look at you in the eyes and say things like, give me a name, Tristan, because I did that to your brother and he dropped a few names. But when it comes to your performance, what are you most proud of? A win against Matías Jimenez?
Well, I knew that I was gonna win. I just told you guys like before, like when Flo Grappling was following us, I told everybody that I just wanted to like be in style. I wanted to go show my jiu-jitsu, and which I believe I did. I didn't get the submission, in which I was gunning for, but things happen, and we went back to the drawing board literally 2 days right after, and we were just like, what happened? Fix these details. But I was very happy with my win, and I felt like I pushed the pace and I dominated, just like I was going to tell everybody I was.
Yeah, there were plenty of moments where you were just finding the back. So, Michael, when you were looking at his performance backstage, obviously focused on your own fight coming up, what was going on through your mind watching your little brother put in work?
Going through my mind, I was screaming at the freaking TV. I'm like, please just finish. I was like, please, man. As the older brother, I honestly get more nervous for these guys than myself. I don't even get nervous anymore for myself. I'm looking at him like biting my nails. You could ask Ryan Aitken, ask anybody that was in the back with me. I'm like freaking out in the back. But, it was really cool experience, kind of seeing on that big stage, being in the back. It was really weird, but it was also such an awesome moment.
And I saw in your post-fight interview with Joe, Flo Grappling Joe, you said the Sainz family is 3-0 on WNO now and wants to prove they are the best brothers in jiu-jitsu. So how much of it is it really like a family affair for you guys and wanting to get not only your personal name out there, but the family name?
Well, I consider myself like the tip of the spear, right? I was kind of the one who broke out initially, right? I think everybody knows, Michael Sainz. I was on the who's number 126. So I was kind of like the tip of the spear, and I kind of wanted to show that there's brothers that are way better than me. Like, yeah, I'm really good, but they're better than me, and I kind of want to show the world that. And I guess we never really had that recognition. So I kind of really want to use the platform I'm on, Flo Grappling, to kind of really call out my brothers, kind of show the world how great we are as brothers, and kind of give that respect to us. My brother Tristan, Carlos, Kyle, Corbin, like there's all of us, man, such great athletes. So I kind of really want to set up that I'm like probably like the mediocre one out of all of us.
Is one of your brothers also a videographer?
Yes, him.
Okay. Does he live in California?
Sometimes I do content, but I just edit. I like editing.
Oh, so you edit as well? That's like a shooter, like a videographer.
I think it's our cameraman. He's not a brother, but he's like family,
He's family. He's family.
He's always following us. Always with us.
Yeah,
I think there's someone with the same last name as you guys that lives in California. So I was like, are they also related? I'm just
Kevin. She's talking about.
Oh,
Kevin.
You're talking about Kevin. We're not we knew each other, but like from far. I don't know if we're related. We have the same last name, but
he also has Michael as his name, his middle name. So it's like Eric Michael Sainz. So it's a bit trippy.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, at that point, if you guys share the last name, you have something in common. Tristan, I want to get your take because I did make Michael say a few names on who he wants to see next. So I think there were people along the lines of like Andrew Tackett, Joseph Chen. What was the other one, Michael?
JT Torres.
JT Torres. Out of those three, Tristan, what do you like the most?
Well, for him, obviously, I have confidence that my family is the best family like in the world. Some people just have two brothers that are really good. Like you have the Rotolos, you have the Corbys, like you said. But we have 4 and 5, including Corbin. Corbin is a firefighter, so he doesn't compete as much, but he's a black belt. He's very high level. So it's just like I think if I had to think of a match on the top of my head, I know who's gonna bring it. It's probably Andrew Tackett, just because I like that style of like how they're gonna clash. The thing is with Mike is that everybody has stalled against him because they haven't figured out a way how to beat him. Like Daniel Slather, a guy known for really exciting matches, highlighting everybody. He couldn't figure out the puzzle. Same with Natan, and it's all respect to them, but it's just we bring a puzzle that is very hard to solve. You know what I mean? So I think Andrew Tackett will bring it no matter what. I know he's going to push the pace against my brother, so I would love to see that match.
And obviously he is signed with UFC. I think it goes pretty exclusive if you win the UFC BJJ thing. And I did just play a clip of General Manager Ben Kovacs, kind of talking about how Flo Grappling is the most friendly when it comes to having you guys be able to jump around and perform for different promotions. So for you, knowing there are things like CJI around the corner, and you guys are so early on in your career, but there's big money payouts. What is it like for both of you guys, knowing that you could really make a true career out of this that pays out some serious cash money prizes?
I mean, I guess that was like the goal since the beginning, right? Like that was the goal, right? To make a living off the sport. You know what they say: if you love what you do, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life, right? It's kind of like that. And so it's really exciting for us, looking for the future. Like just not only myself, Tristan, all my other brothers as well, right? It's like our futures are very bright. We're young. We're right now kind of growing up with the sport. Jiu-jitsu's right now in that like big growth spurt where now everybody knows jiu-jitsu. You go back a couple of years ago, you say jiu-jitsu, they think you're talking about karate. Yeah. Like, seriously, jiu-jitsu's really made leaps in the past couple of years. So it's a very cool and awesome excitement, like looking forward our futures, like thinking about the money, thinking about the sponsorships, how big we could get our names, right? Just like think about it in the past year alone, 6 months, let's go back 6 months, how much alpha has changed, right? Just the Sainz brothers in total. People knew us, but I think they more knew us on like a local thing, right? Now, people know the Sainz brothers. And I'm just thinking about what about 6 months from now, a year from now, 2-3 years from now, where we're going to be at. So it's very exciting, and I'm very optimistic for the future.
It's really exciting for the younger athletes of our gym, because there's so much talent that you see, because we're there. We literally just got off of coaching right now to hop on the interview. There's just so much young talent with the kids that it's going to be crazy that they all have a future in jiu-jitsu. To me, it's the best sport in the world. So in order for them to make a living and make their money, it's just a blessing to see all the young kids growing up and following that lead. I know that they're going to be there. You know what I mean? There's no doubt in my mind.
The future is definitely so bright for all of jiu-jitsu, but especially you guys as well. I'm going to let in Kit Dale because I did tell him we're going to start at 3:45. So you guys stay on for a second before I take you off. Kit Dale in the building. We got the youngsters, and then we got our main event man ready to talk to the crowd. Do you guys have anything to say to Kit? What was it like kicking it with him?
Hey, I love this Australian dude. Look at him. He's just awesome, dude.
Kit,
boys awesome. I appreciate you, boys.
Thank you, Kit.
Hey, I wish I could have talked to you a little bit longer. You're a hell of a funny dude. We gotta kick it sometime for real.
Oh yeah, man. I'll come back to Miami soon, bro. I'll come back and we'll hang out for sure.
No, we gotta go to Australia. We gotta go to Australia. I've never been out of the country.
I'm not there. I'm in LA.
But if you
go to Australia, I'm there. I'll come with you.
I just ruined the whole point of it, bro. We're excited for Australia.
There is some word that we do want to put on some shows in Australia as well. Saints Bros, thank you guys so much. Definitely going to make some clips out of the stuff that we saw. Can't wait to see you at another WNO card. Now we're going to move on to Kit Dale, who also put his name in the who should be on the next WNO card, and he voted for himself. I agree. It is so fun to see you in action. Where are you at now? Back in LA, just kind of getting back to training?
Yeah, getting my head back on my shoulders after Wagner almost ripped it off, and getting back into the swing of things, working on the movie. But yeah, back in LA now.
Okay, so tell me about the movie that's going to be coming out.
So it's a movie. Me and my business partner Becca Buckley, we wrote together. We starred in it, directed it, and executive produced it. It's called White Belt. It's a comedy action drama about loosely based on my life, which is this ex-jiu-jitsu champion who runs a jiu-jitsu academy to just make enough money to fund his new career, which is writing. The only thing is he's not any good at it. And this girl comes in, Tay, her name is, played by Becca, and she wants to be in the competition class, and I keep pushing her away, telling her it's not for women, it's not for, but there's a different reason why I'm pushing her away. And then eventually I push her completely away, and I discover that she's actually my favorite rider. So we make a pact to get together, and she's going to teach me how to ride. I'm going to teach her jiu-jitsu, and it just goes up and down. And then we have different characters from real life that are in there, and they come in, and it's just a fun little comedy that kind of tricks you into an action drama in the end.
This is insane. So jiu-jitsu meets Hollywood. Where are people going to be able to watch it?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. It really depends on, once we're finished, we're going to take a look at it and decide whether we go the film festival route or whether we just go with the distributor. And we would love to, have it on Netflix or something like that would be the goal, I think, at the moment.
Very exciting. We have people in the group chat saying Becca is played by Craig. I know that being able to see your boy Craig was probably very amazing. You hung out with him at the meet and greet. He didn't keep you out too late, did he?
I think we got in about 2:00, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh my gosh.
That's
All I heard was that Anthony needed some time for recovery.
No, it was good. There's actually Craig actually has a character based on him in the movie. His name's Crew Johns, and he's based a little loosely off Craig.
Wow. Well, I cannot wait. And when is the official release date? Or is that still in the works?
There's no official release date. We hope to have it finished by September, and then it just really depends on whether we go film festivals or whether we go straight to a distributor. If we go straight to a distributor, it'll come out, probably not long after that. If we go film festivals, it may take a little bit longer, depending on which ones we get accepted into.
Well, we definitely want to see maybe a little preview on the Jumbotron when CJI becomes, when it's August 30th and 31st. Are you going to be at the CJI too?
Yeah, I'll be there. I don't know in which capacity, but I'll be doing something there.
Because we did see you at the Australasia trials and you were there putting on some of the best commercials, very comedic. How nice was it to be able to get into the Hollywood mode with your guy, Lachlan Giles, and create some art for the jiu-jitsu people?
No, it was really good. It was really easy. My brother, my little brother Scott Dale, he's a much bigger director than what I am, and he was there at the time. So he shot it and edited it and did a really good job, and it was a lot of fun. And Lachlan did great with that, and I think a lot of people appreciated the humor and the quality of that. We want to do more stuff like that. It's a shame my brother lives in Australia, because we would do a lot more content like that for sure. We used to do that a lot, years ago, like 10 years ago, but we both wanted to sort of step it up and save our creative energy for the big screen, which he's done now with 2 big movies, both starring Megan Fox, and I've got my first movie coming out now, so we don't do a lot of skits and stuff, but we've really saved that energy and those ideas for much bigger things, which will start to come to fruition now.
And I love how one of your biggest messages is you're a jiu-jitsu guy that has other habits and your other hobbies that you like to do, but you're still able to be at an elite level on the grappling stage. So for you, what is it like having to balance all the things that you do, but why is that the life that you chose versus just going all in on the jiu-jitsu scene?
It's definitely much harder. I mean, it's not even 2 different things. I feel like I'm trying to balance 5 or 6 different things. It definitely, puts the odds against you, but it's also a much larger challenge that I feel like is much more rewarding. I've done a fair few things at a very high level, since I was younger, and I think I'm very dedicated when I like something and I can put my mind to it. So to be world class at one thing doesn't really do a lot for me. But if I can do it at 6 or 7 different things, then I feel like I feel a little bit more proud of myself in that sense. And the reason really is like I don't love anything enough to just do that. I really like to do a lot of things. My problem is I have too many different hobbies and too many things I want to do. I know a lot of people have don't even know what they want to do as a career. I could choose 5 or 6 different things, and anytime one of them feels like it's on the way out, I'll find another one. So for me, it's just a lifestyle that I much rather live than just doing one thing. Too much of one thing for me, it kind of it gets a little bit boring. Where I like to challenge myself and be able to switch between multiple different hobbies.
And it's so interesting to me that I know the new generation kind of looks at the Australian stars. Now we have Levi Jones-Leary, but Lachlan Giles, Craig Jones were the big names. And I saw on your El Segundo podcast when you were talking to Craig about how when he beat Leandro Lowe and you were having tears of happiness, and then you guys joke, you're like, maybe they were just real tears because he's beginning to replace you as like the big face of Australian grappling. So for you to make your comeback and have the success that you had against Shanji, and now you're going to be looking to do some other WNO cards, what is it like for everything to kind of come full circle, and also seeing all the things that guys like Lachlan Giles and Craig Jones and Adele Fornarino have done for the sport?
I mean, I think they've done phenomenal for the sport, especially Craig. I mean, and that's why I kind of mentioned that. It was nice to see Craig do things, but it was also, there was something that made me a little bit jealous about that, because in my head it's like, well, if I had applied myself, I could have had the same success. And it was always hard for me to sort of to figure out whether I did the right thing, whether dropping out and doing other hobbies was the right thing, or whether I should have stayed in jiu-jitsu. And that's kind of a question that's kind of been back and forth with me. And I came to the conclusion that, well, I want to spend my time trying to make it as a filmmaker. And if I can get my first film, then I can kind of take my foot off the gas a little bit and allow myself to start participating in the other hobbies that I enjoyed. And jiu-jitsu was one of them. So that was nice. And it was also good to, for some reason in jiu-jitsu, people think that if you're not competing, you're not any good. And as someone that coaches jiu-jitsu and I do a lot of seminars everywhere, it's definitely something that's popped up a lot. The people that have trained with me know. So it was nice to be able to, show people that I actually, just because I haven't been training and just because I do a lot of different things doesn't mean I can't do jiu-jitsu still. So it was good. It was a little disappointing, the match with Wagner on my end. There was a couple critical things that I really dropped the ball on, and there was a couple things he did really well, and I think he prepared better for it, and he had a better game plan for it. So as much as I'm very happy to get to share the mat with him, and he's actually an awesome dude, and I've been talking to him since then. I really get along with him, and it's cool to speak to him on a personal level and see that he's a really good person and not just a great practitioner. But it's I really want another match with somebody, and I really want to get that one back. And not because I think that winning or losing is everything, but I always want to make sure that I perform my best, and I feel like I failed to do that on the night. I think I left it too little too late and had 3 minutes of what I should have done for a lot longer. So I really want to get back in there and have another match and learn from my mistakes and go further from there.
And you also had an amazing match against Shanji Ribeiro. Are you only looking to compete against guys that are more in the Masters division, or would you be open to a match against a guy that's maybe a younger star on the rise?
Yeah, no, anyone. I was never choosing the matches based on age. It was almost, it was really, who's number one coming up to me and saying, hey, we have this person, you want to go against this person? They said Gianni. I said, of course. They said Wagner. I said, of course. There's certain matchups that I wouldn't love, and there's certain matchups that I really would love. And a lot of the time, it's like I want the matchups that are going to be good fights more than anything. It's not so much there's no one I feel like I want to beat or anything like that. I just think at this stage, it's much better to get a matchup that makes sense and it's going to be exciting for people to watch. I think the Zhangji fight was a good match, especially for me, just stylistically. And I think, my best part of my game is by far my guard passing. I'd probably like another match where I get to go against someone that has a phenomenal guard. Would be really nice to test that out. So I think that would be a nice one, or just another good wrestler would be great as well. I didn't really get a chance to kind of showcase the wrestling. Wagner did such a good job of controlling the head, and my game plan of letting him burn himself out trying to do it was probably not the best game plan, because he lasted a lot longer, and a couple little things happened that allowed him to recover more than I was hoping he would be able to. And my head is killing me right now, my neck, so that wasn't a good idea. But it'd be cool to go against someone else.
Curious at one point, I was curious at one point if him grabbing your head like that, if it was part of if you were going to do something based off of that, because it just looked so uncomfortable. I wasn't sure if you letting him do that was intentional.
No, it really didn't bother me much in the match. Afterwards, yeah. Afterwards, it felt like my head was about 4 feet further forward than what it should have been. It's been sore since then. But during the match, it didn't really bother me much. It did stop me from doing things, and like, but it was more like I was kind of allowing it to happen because I was hoping that he was going to burn himself out on hanging on my head, and I was kind of like I wasn't really doing much. I was kind of just trying to like conserve my energy a bit. And then there was a mistake that happened. I got kind of ran out and ended up on the corner. And I think, it's been a long time since I competed, and we had a restart, and I really should have protested that restart. I stopped, before he went to my back, and that's just smart on Wagner's behalf of just continuing and not stopping until the referee completely stops you. But I was a little bit too passive in that stoppage, and then he ended up right behind me, which I don't think he should have had. And then I got taken down. I spent too long in guard trying to pretend like I wasn't going to explode up. I should have just exploded up straight away. The second takedown, he got me perfect. Such a nice time takedown, and I don't get taken down much. And that's the one I feel like that was a real takedown. The first one I didn't really feel like that because I was going to run into a monitor or one of the pillars, and we had a stoppage, and I stopped before he got towards my back. So, but that second one was beautifully timed. And I was just like hoping he would get tired a lot sooner. And by the time he did get tired, there was probably 3.5 minutes left, and it was just too little, too late. And he kind of knew that. He told me before that he knew that was my style. So I think one big lesson for it is not to. I don't want to do those kind of styles anymore, where I let people wear themselves out and then come back late. I want to start pushing the pace earlier on, and maybe try and break them during the match, or at least have a lot more fun exchanges than what it was.
Now, Kit, I know you are used to making the big bucks, these super fights, but we have CJI, a nonprofit. I just want to get your take. Is it possible we see you in a charity super fight at CJI against an opponent that would completely move the needle and would completely dance with you on the comedic side? Like, do you think you would do it for the Fair Fight Foundation?
Yeah, of course, for sure. I'd be definitely open to do that. And I think, Craig's kind of asked me if I want to be involved in it. And I said, I'll be involved in it in whatever capacity he wants. I like what he's doing. I like the event. So whether that's me doing something behind the scenes, or whether that's me on the stage, or even both, I'll be very happy to participate in that.
Okay, I'm definitely going to manifest that on my channel, because we would obviously love for you to be part of it in some way, but also a match I think would be very, very entertaining. Is there anyone on the forefront of your brain that you think would be an awesome opponent that would also bring the eyes of maybe casual jiu-jitsu fans?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I've kind of been out of it so long. I don't really know the who's who of the people. A lot of the guys I knew, and I don't even want to say
you and
it.
Dylan Dennis.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd compete against him. I don't think he'd compete against me. I think Dylan would only compete against people push his social media following, and I'm probably 1/20th of what he has on social media. So I don't think he's going to get anything out of competing with me. So I don't think that would happen, but I would be very happy to. But yeah, honestly, anyone that's going to be a good matchup, and anyone that makes sense. Obviously, I'm about to turn 40. I know there's a lot of young kids that are really good that it's not going to do too much for beating someone like me. So I'd like to be someone that's that makes sense. But honestly, I don't know who's even competing anymore. Who would be a good matchup for me? Maybe you know better than me.
Well, I do know that you just love to talk yourself down, and you like to not hype yourself up. But we all know that you were one of the biggest trailblazers and one of the guys that influenced a lot of the biggest names we see in Australian grappling scene now to even do jiu-jitsu. So Kit, thank you so much for everything that you've done. I'm so excited that I got to meet you in Miami, and I'll also see you before CJI. We're going to do some fun content together. And thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Bye. All right, guys, there you have it. Kit Dale, he is a class act and obviously didn't get the win against Wagner Rocha, but he, We just needed him to start a little bit earlier than he did, and it could have been a little bit closer. But anyways, let's move on to some of the other action that we saw. We also saw Luccas Lira versus Sean Yadimarco. Sean, I keep butchering his name, Yadimarco. Sean is a Tom DeBlas black belt, and at first I didn't realize that connection. And then we saw the post from Tom DeBlas basically saying that he was questioning the decision. And we see in the comments, Luccas Lira, not Lucas Lepri. Sorry, guys. That was in the forefront of my brain when I was making the announcement because Lucas Lepri was in my next hit. But luckily, I talked to Luccas Lira and he's not mad at me. But basically, Luccas Lira versus Sean was one of the more questionable calls. In the comments of Tom DeBlas basically questioning the judges' scorecards, they basically said they would love to run it back, whether it be on a different promotion or something like that. So let us know if that would be a match that you guys want to see run back. I personally thought it was just, frustrating when you have a guy with such a good guard like Sean, and then, you're just waiting for something to happen. And it's a lot of, guard pass attempts versus someone's impassable guard. But that was one of the matches that a lot of people thought should have went the other way. And then another match was the Max Hanson versus Gianni Grippo, which was a little bit closer than people, I guess people were debating that Gianni could have gotten the win there. When we looked at the Max Hanson interview exclusively on Flo Grappling, Joe from Flo Grappling does such a great job with all of the post-match interviews. I wish I could have just I don't know. We do all this crazy stuff with AI now. I feel like we should be able to figure out how we can get someone else's brain into another person's brain. And I want a piece of Joe's brain because he is a BJJ encyclopedia asking Max all the right questions. And Max went off per usual. Max Hanson might be in the running for best on the mic. I know Owen Jones kind of is known for what he does on the mic, but Max Hanson, man, he goes out there and he's keeping it real. And it's not like a persona. I think I accidentally misspoke and said part of your persona. It's not his persona. It's just who he is. And I feel like two of the most genuinely blunt people in the game are Owen Jones, Max Hanson, and that was the call out that was made. Also, we're going to see the potential of that matchup at CJI 2. And this was Max Hanson's words about Owen Jones when speaking about CJI and just overall European team. I think some dudes just get unnecessary hype. Go on his BJJ Heroes. He has 15 matches, 1 European trials, and his best win is against Dorian Oliveras, who was a 17-year-old at the time. I want to fraud check him. The dude doesn't realize how little experience he has in the game. And in my opinion, he hasn't fought anyone good. And when he did, he got tapped in 2 minutes, referring to Diego Pato. Some of his hype comes from being friends with Joseph Chen. And Joseph Chen is a guy that actually deserves the hype because he competes a lot against some big names. So damn, Max Hanson, he just really let him know what his opinion on them was. And then he went on to say that the easiest matchup that Daisy Fresh could have first round is the European Misfits. So there was a lot. When Max cooked Owen Jones, I was speaking in tongues. Gianni Grippo should have won. I'm shocked Gianni lost. And Josiah says, let them run it back. What's up, Dub Stomp? Ooh, Marcelo Garcia versus Kit Dale. That'd be very interesting. A lot of people are voting for Kit versus Marcelo. I do know that Marcelo Garcia was in talks for the inaugural CJI. We couldn't get that. But we do know we have Tom DeBlas's blessing when it comes to their athletes at one championship. I think Kit Dale is... I just can't see Kit being able to talk as much. I'm trying to set up Kit for a match that, he could, have a lot of fun with banter. It's hard to banter against Marcelo Garcia because he's just so lovable. All right, guys, I want to close out with another. Oh, before we move on, let's talk about Roberto Jimenez versus Ryan Aitken. I want to play this clip that one of my editors, shout out to all of my editors that have been helping me. Shanti, she helped out with the WNO 29 Fight Week. Jameson, who I've been working with the longest, he created this. This is now pinned to Roberto Jimenez's Instagram because it is such a lovely post.
Be patient and be patient. Nothing that's worth the effort comes fast. So enjoy the journey, have fun, and tap into those dark emotions, the sadness, the rage, the fear, and get rid of it. Transform it into something, into love, into thankfulness, into gratefulness.
So that was from BJJ Revo. You can definitely catch his content online. We do a little bit of collaborations, but Roberto Jimenez is one of the coolest guys ever. I just saw my Instagram messages from Jasmine Rocha. It's just that I have another interview coming up with Gavin Corbet. Corbet officially on the America Misfits team. Let me see if I can get Jasmine this link to go live really quick. What the hell? Obviously, Jasmine had a awesome performance, but then in the shootout was on the wrong side of a crazy leg lock. Guys, why? We saw so many leg locks that like people didn't even have the knee line, and I'm like, bro, now you can like ruin people's ligaments without even the knee line. Like I thought I was supposed to be safe when I protect my knee line. And now all of a sudden you can also just get hurt without them even having their feet secured. Like what even is jiu-jitsu? All right. Let's see if I can send this. I don't know why this is being so difficult. Okay. Yes, but not for long. All right. I just sent her the link. So if she can hop on, then I'll definitely add her in. Guys, this is going to be the new Ariel Helwani show, but for jiu-jitsu specifically. So, you know, let's keep manifesting that you guys keep supporting, and Flo and I can come to cahoots on something fun, because I think these post shows should be, you know, on a Monday or Tuesday right after the event. Let's line up these fighters and get them talking and ready to go. Roberto Jimenez is one of the coolest guys ever. I met him a while back, and the guy is awesome. Yeah, a lot of people like to hate on Roberto for being like a little weird or something. I'm like, I don't think he's weird. I think he's spiritual. Like meditating is good. He is at the top of his game. And when we think back to the WNO Flo Grappling show, they did a great analysis on them. And Joe, who I said I wanted to borrow part of his brain, he is the guy who kind of runs some of the rankings. I don't know if it's like ultimately his decision, but he'll like write the articles and his explanations on why certain people should be first. So when he was breaking it down, we basically are asking the question, who should be the #1 light heavyweight in the world on Flo Grappling? So when we look at Pedro versus Giancarlo, Pedro is currently the WNO champion, and that was the match that Roberto Jimenez wanted next. And then he also hinted that we could eventually make that Mika match happen, but at a weight where Roberto doesn't have to cut weight. I know Roberto is not about that weight cut life. If he was, we would probably be seeing him in CJI. And I also have some tea that people should know about, because at first the wild card wasn't going to be who it currently is, but we'll be talking about a members only function. Thunderfist Beefcake loves to hate on me, but it is a Tuesday, my friend. You might be in Asian time, maybe? Now I'm going to be able to locate you. But you know that you're doing good things when even your haters join your live chat. Love you, Thunder Beefcake. Beefcake. Love you, Thunder Beefcake. Beefcake. Anyway, we're going to continue talking about the light heavyweight division. That match is going to be a banger between Roberto Jimenez versus Pedro Marino. We have no official news on WNO 30 and what the date will be, but after the performance that Roberto Jimenez put on Ryan Aitken, it is no doubt that he is deserving of that title shot. So when they're thinking about doing these rankings, we also had BJJ Stars put on a great performance, a great show. Pedro Marino won that Grand Prix. I didn't get to catch that because I was busy decompressing after PGF, red eye, airport interrogations, straight into the press conference, WNO 29 the next day. Had so much fun. but was completely tapped out Saturday. Pedro versus Giancarlo is a close win. So this is, I'm repeating the words of Flo Grappling Joe on there. And he was basically saying he's going to take that into account because Giancarlo is obviously the two-time 2024 ADCC champ. Roberto Jimenez defeated Giancarlo at Aiga by 13 points. I'm going to have to go back and watch. Was it really 13 points? I know it was pretty bad, but pretty crazy stuff. And Roberto is fighting like the number one guy. So let me know who you guys think should be the number one ranked person in the light heavyweight division. He's making fun of my dimples. My dimples are deeper than your soul. What up, Kairos? All right, give us the tea. We won't tell Alex. All right, guys, since we only have like 13 people in here, I can share some of the secret tea going on. So basically there was a point where, when I saw Giancarlo at Aiga, he, wasn't going to be doing CJI. But then it changed and he ended up deciding to do CJI. But originally it was that 88 slot that was open. So when John Danaher and I did the interview, it wasn't Mika that he was talking about when it becomes the interesting wild card that was offered. Some people were guessing in the comments who it would be. I'll let you guys, do your suspicions. But my hint is that it was not the 77 kilogram spot that they were looking to fill. The original plan was the in-house tournament between Davis Asari. Gary Tonin would have gotten it if he wanted it. Jason Nolf, Isaac Michelle, obviously they wanted in there, but Craig didn't want him to be involved at all. Or Oliver Taza. So obviously things changed. Giancarlo ended up officially signing. I don't know if the loss at Aiga motivated that at all. But that is kind of the breakdown of how everything made it, about how everything happened. And there was an 88 kilogram guy that used to train with New Wave that was going to take that 88 kilogram spot. And it's honestly not that hard to figure out. And it's actually very coincidental because a lot of them were at the building at the Mono Winwood Convention Center. So yes, we all love Giancarlo Bodani. We're trying to get him set up with an interview. And yeah, I think my last piece of information that I wanted to talk about, just giving credit to Michael Sainz defeating Nathan Chuang. And everyone loves the welterweight division in no-gi jiu-jitsu. It is the toughest no-gi division, and I think that was a big reason why the inaugural CJI was so successful because it was looked at as the most stacked bracket in the world. And then we also have to talk about the big news that happened at CJI, not just Mika Galbao being the wild card for New Wave's team, but also the fact that ADCC has officially signed to be on Flo Grappling for 2026. I was today years old when I found out that the 2026 ADCC World Championships is allegedly going to be in Poland. Crazy. One notable campaign to bring ADCC 2026 to Brazil was led by Malky Galbao, whose push ultimately fell short. However, his efforts may have laid the groundwork for the 2028 edition of the tournament. So we could potentially be seeing ADCC Poland 2026 and then in Brazil 2028. I love that they're taking this global. I think that is going to bring such a crazy great energy, and I think the true diehard fans are going to make that long trip. So I'm super excited. I had no idea that it was going to be in Poland. Like I literally found that out today when I was watching the WNO Flo Grappling show, and Reed's like, "We can't wait to see you all over there in Poland." I was like, "Huh? What?" So that is all very exciting news. I think it's huge that Flo Grappling is, again, being taken down a different direction, because it wasn't too long ago where, I was working with the inaugural CJI and, Flo Grappling didn't have a lot to say about CJI because there were a little bit of, conflict with ADCC versus CJI in order to just raise the sport in all. And I think now they're taking a big pivot, obviously signing with Craig Jones, being able to make hilarious content. I'm so excited that Craig is going to be able to take a little bit of break from being in the spotlight, but the cameras will likely still be rolling with Flo Grappling, being able to capture content and not have him constantly on his phone promoting an event. So I think we have a bunch of stuff. And yeah, if you guys ever have a dire question for me, if you do a super pay chat, I will answer those first. So Thunder Beefcake, thank you for the euro. Now we know that you are in somewhere in Europe. And I be yapping it. I've been yapping. But thank you so much for joining. Yes, jiu-jitsu is on the rise, and I am so happy to be part of it. Thank you guys so much for joining. I didn't see Jasmine get on this call, so hopefully we'll get her on next time. Wishing her a speedy recovery. And see you guys next time. The next live chat is going to be on PGF Season 8, Week 2. What did you guys think about all that? Make sure you guys hit the like button. I'm going to be getting ready for this next live chat coming up. But first, I'm going to interview DeAndre Corbey's little brother, Gavin, who recently quit his job as an engineer to focus on CJI. Thank you guys so much. The love, the hate, and the sarcasm. I'll see you guys next time.